Meeting called to order at 6:05. If we would please rise, the pledge is going to be led by Dave Rooney and invocation by Rachel.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us together here safely today. I pray that you would watch over our faculty, staff, students, and parents throughout the following month. And Lord, that you would continue to help these COVID numbers come down so we can stay in school and be safe. And we thank you for what you did for our girls' state team. And we pray that you'll be with our boys this weekend at their game, and that you'll lead us tonight to make wise choices. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Roll call for the record. Mr. Basham.
Here.
Ms. Franklin.
Here.
Ms. Overberg. Mr. Groen.
Present.
And I am present. We have quorum. Dr. Brillhart, do we have any emergency additions to the agenda?
Yes, sir, we do. Just a few tweaks here. If you go to reminders under regular scheduled monthly board meeting, April 19th, 2021, 6:30, that'll be at the Silver Creek High School GPR, not the Silver Creek Middle School GPR. Again, Silver Creek High School GPR. Under C, I'm just got to give an update on building usage. And then if we turn to the second page, under A10, approval of transfer of debt service fund to legacy debt fund effective tomorrow in the amount of $3,776,135.40. And I'll explain what that is here in a little bit. Under appointments, C1.4, Katie Dress Watkins, Silver Creek Primary Intense Needs Teacher, transfer from Borden Elementary. And under other, kind of confusing, E1 was moved down to discussion action item, so therefore E2 was changed to E1, approval of resolution of R8 purchase of property. And then we added E.2, language clarification for board policy 5111, out of district transfers. And then under discussion action items, approval of Covert Hawkins contract for design for the multi-purpose playing surface Silver Creek main football field. Those are the only emergency additions to the agenda, sir.
All right, you've heard Dr. Brillhart's emergency additions to the agenda. Do we have a motion to accept?
I'd make that motion, accept it.
Mr. Basham makes the motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Ms. Overberg seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. There are no approval of minutes. There are no approval of executive minutes. So I'd like to move right into school reports. This is a very special moment for Silver Creek School Corporation. We get to celebrate, technically, our first corporation state champion. So the Silver Creek High School girls basketball team, of course, they were recently crowned 3A state champions, are present. And obviously we recognize that acknowledgement is due, and so we didn't want to do it at the previous board meeting because we were a little cramped on space inside the high school's GPR room, so we thought it'd be more appropriate, obviously, to wait till today. But again, don't look at that delay as on purpose. Like I said, we just wanted to make sure we adhered to social guidelines. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Roundtree to give a little element of appreciation, obviously, for your all's hard work and dedication. And more than anything, just recognize the accomplishment that you did on behalf of Silver Creek High School. Mr. Roundtree?
If we could just have the members of the team that are here, the coaching staff, everyone come up to the front. If you all want to say anything, you're more than welcome to the mic. But Silver Creek School Corporation would like to welcome the Silver Creek Lady Dragons basketball team tonight after winning the 2021 Indiana 3A State Championship. Team finished with a 25-3 record.
Thank you.
Tied for second most wins in the state. They finished with this season with the most program wins in school history. All 6 seniors are going to college, and 4 of them are playing at the next level. They also finished with the #1 ranking in the state of Indiana for 3A and number 64th nationally. But just on a side note, and I'm not trying to imply anything here, but we did beat the 4A state champion. This team is loaded with a lot of individual talent. There are many games that they played where they could have had the 5 best athletes on the floor at any given time. There are members of this team that started on the bench that could have started for half the teams in the state, if not more. But in my opinion, when you look at this team, talent is not what defined or propelled them as state champions. While they are a very talented group of players, when I think of this group, I think of the words team and sacrifice. Coach Jackson, Phil Jackson, said the strength of a team is each individual member, but the strength of each member is the team. And looking at this team, I see a great group of young ladies and coaches who sacrificed for what they wanted and for the team goal. In a year where a national pandemic was in the forefront, this group buckled down. They made sacrifices that not many teenagers simply could make. In a world of athletics where so much outside emphasis is put on individual accolades and accomplishments, they set all of that to the side for the opportunity to succeed as a team. I've never witnessed such an unselfish group, and their sacrifices showed in the way they played. You always hear the old cliche, teams, we're like family. This group of coaches and players truly embossed that family motto and spirit. Not only did they fight for each other on the court, they were there for one another celebrating their accomplishments. They leaned on one another as personal tragedies and loss struck this family. They were there for each other with reassurance and calm voices when spineless, jealous outsiders tried to make themselves feel better by tearing down high school athletes. They are a family. Coach Shane, this has been a work in progress. I commend you for your vision. When you took this job 11 years ago, you invested in our youth. You invested into this program. This group may go down as Silver Creek's first team to win a girls' state basketball championship, but the future is bright, and your investment will keep paying off. This team has helped stamp the foundation that you have built, and it will only grow higher. To all of you, because of the nature of which you handle yourselves and the excitement you bring, not only to the game, but to the community, has simply been amazing. I know so many of our young Dragons look up to all of you all as players. You've always been so gracious to take pictures, give high fives, and allow them to share in your success. But the one thing I want to say to any future Dragons that are watching, they are great role models. The only thing I ask is don't just mimic your game after them, but mimic your life, because you can't find a better group of people. On behalf of Silver Creek School Corporation, the Board of Trustees, and the administration, we take great pleasure in honoring you tonight. Thank you for coming. You're state champions. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I just want to say just a minute, that's it. No, not at all. I don't need much because I know you all more important things. I just wanted to say just a couple words. One, to the board, thank you. Thank you very much for the support that you give the Lady Dragons basketball program. Dr. Brewhart, thank you for all the support that you've given us over the years. And Mr. Roundtree, you hit it on the head. I've been blessed to have a group of kids to come through a program and a group of kids that just meshed so well that it made my job easy. My toughest job was just management a little bit, but to be blessed with a group of kids who sacrificed themselves, sacrificed for a bigger vision, And then to watch them accomplish that is a true testament of what we have here at Silver Creek. It's a true testament of our educational foundation. It's a true testament of our community. It's a true testament of where we are as a school corporation. And for that, I am so proud to be part of Silver Creek High School and Silver Creek School Corporation. I am so proud to be their coach. And to my coaches, I get a lot of credit when my assistant coaches do a lot of the hard work, breaking film and giving game plans. For that, though, I just want to say thank you for tonight. Thank you for the recognition. We much love to you guys and all the support that you've given us. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you all. You all are more than welcome to stay. It's not going to be eventful, but you're more than welcome to stay if you want. So, but again, thank you all for attending, and again, congratulations, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Under condolences, unfortunately, we have to announce that again we would like to express our condolences to Mr. Ben Anderson, Silver Creek bus driver, and his family. Mr. Anderson unfortunately recently lost his father, so again, our condolences to Mr. and Mrs. Anderson for their loss. Reminder of upcoming events. We do not have a scheduled executive board meeting coming up. Again, regular scheduled board meeting for the month of April, again, is at Silver Creek High School at 6:30, April 19th. We have no reports under curriculum and student services. For myself, just wanted to give a brief report. We had a meeting yesterday with the Clark County Health Department, and some of the questions that we asked, and again, this wasn't just us, but all schools within Clark County, trying to get guidance and clarification on certain things that are coming up here this fourth semester related to prom, graduation, senior trips, building usage, so on and so forth. And basically, what Dr. Yazel gave us the advice on was, of course, use common sense. We're going to still require mask wearing, social distancing, so on and so forth. But a lot of those events, obviously, it's up to the individual hosting site of what their capacity is, and obviously we will adhere to that with the utmost respect for our kids and their safety. But one of the items, again, we were just kind of wanting to get a direction from the board on was opening our facilities back up for building usage. Now, we asked this question very black and white to the health department. Would they recommend it? They said yes, under the guidance that the group or the vendor that is applying to use our facility, whether it's AAU, whether it's Girl Scouts, whatever it may be, they have to submit a plan to the health department, get the plan approved, and then basically attach that to the application per se to rent our space. They were perfectly fine with that. So if the board is okay with that process, again, we'll slowly start to obviously implement that. We don't anticipate there's going to be a huge shift by no means over the course of the next 9 weeks, but just want to let everybody know that, again, that will be the responsibility of the group that is applying to use our facility to make sure their plan is in coherence with the Clark County Health Department. Okay. Any questions on that? I just want to make sure I'm very, very clear on that. Okay. Mr. Voigt, I don't know if it would be appropriate time for you to come up and talk about the FFCRA. This is kind of a new item, and I apologize I didn't get it on the agenda. This actually just got brought to our attention late this afternoon. With the new plan that was just approved by the federal government, it does give us the option to extend the FFCRA. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Voigt on basically the details behind that.
Yeah, like Tom said, this is tied back into the recent signing of the American Rescue Act plan that President Biden signed. Essentially what it does is the hours that an employee could be off due to COVID-related illnesses of themselves or a family member, which provided them up to 80 hours of time away from work without having to use their own personal accrued time. That was extended initially until March 31st. When President Biden signed this American Rescue Act plan, that allowed employers to extend that up to September the 30th of 2021 if they chose to do so. We elected voluntarily to extend it to March 31st. So in talking with John Mays, it sounds like about 90% of the corporations in the state are voluntarily extending to September 30th. So we're seeking your all's direction on whether you want to do that. If we choose to do that, then John will have to prepare an MOU for us to have approved by the Teachers Association, and then we would bring a resolution for that MOU approval at the April board meeting. What this provision does, like I said, it just extends through September the 30th of 2021 the availability of those 80 hours. What it also does, if we choose to extend, is anyone who's used hours for these COVID-related reasons before April the 1st, once April 1st comes, if we extend, then everyone is back at 80 hours available again, even if they've used prior hours. It doesn't add hours for someone who's never used hours on top of the 80. It just puts everyone back at 80 hours available for their use for these COVID-related reasons. So that's where we're just seeking your guidance on whether we want to extend that provision to our employees, and then if we need to seek from Mr. Mays the development of that MOU, which has to be filed along with our collective bargaining agreement.
So the process would be no different than what we did, I think it was back in January, I believe, the January board meeting. Be the same process. So again, we just want to make sure you guys are okay with us moving forward with that. And like I said, it would be on the April 19th board agenda.
I think it's a no-brainer,
Okay.
personally.
Yep, I agree.
Okay. Thank you. Before we take action on the consent agenda, I do just want to openly explain A10, the approval to transfer the debt service fund to legacy debt service fund effective tomorrow. The $3,776,135.40. What that is, when we received our levy back in late December, we didn't have the legacy debt fund set up in our accounting system. Okay, so all this is, it's not that we lost money or we're spending more money. It's a complete wash. It's just an accounting, I guess you could say, a technicality. So all we're doing is just transferring the levy that we received, the West Clark levy amount that we had to put in somewhere. So we put it into our the Silver Creek Debt Service Fund, and all we're doing is transferring it to technically the West Clark Legacy Debt Fund. That's all we're doing. So, but we have to have authorization in order to make that transfer. So, so that's why that's added on the agenda. So, and with that being said, sir, I would ask the board for approval for the consent agenda.
You heard the recommendation of Dr. Brillhart. Do we have a motion to approve consent agenda?
I so move.
Mr. Groen makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Basham seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, we will move on to discussion action items. Number one discussion action item is Silver Creek School Corporation School Board of Trustees selects blank architect firm for architect services for the 2021 building project.
As a board, we've interviewed four potential architects for our current project. I believe the board has narrowed it down to two. I'd just like to open it up to you guys to open up discussion and talk about your talking points and the reasons why we should select your choice. And then we can ask for a motion on that choice, and if it gets a second, we'll go to vote. And if there's another architect that you feel, we can seek a motion for that one. If it gets a second, that will also be voted on.
So I would just like to say, you know, this decision has not just been something, you know, we are trying to do on a whim. We spent a lot of hours going over the documents that these architects sent us. We have sat through their presentations and put a lot of thought into this because we know it's such a huge decision. And we've not only considered like how we would be working with them closely, but how the staff and teachers, the administrators, how everyone will be working closely with them, and so how important it is that there's that good relationship there. And in my opinion, looking at everything, looking at cost, looking at available resources and the professionalism and the amount of years and experience they've put into building schools, my choice would be CSO.
Okay. Anyone else?
I would also agree with Rachel. After we went through our process of interviewing the 4 architect firms and stuff, I liked the presentation that CSO gave us, and with the leadership team that they had there that day that would be working with us and our administrators, I think they would be a good fit for us.
I'll say is you could say a lot of positives at every single one of the architects. They all came in and did a great job of reviewing our current footprint, providing us with pictures and possible scenarios of the things that we're looking at doing or wanting to do. I was impressed with all of them. I think CSO stood out for me because of a lot of the consultants that they have that work on their team and what they're going to be able to bring to the table, a fresh look at what we could possibly do on campus. I was really impressed by the other firms as well, so it doesn't take anything away from them. But I definitely think CSO, for what their rate and fee and what they're going to charge us to do the work with what they also offer, is the best overall selection.
First of all, I want to thank all the architects who actually came out. They spent their time. They spent a lot of hours that's not contracted, so they too gave a lot of great information to us. For me, it boils down to what they see in us moving forward. Okay, we had some that knew everything about us. However, I think CSO saw the vision of where we see Silver Creek School Corporation moving and heading forward, moving forward. And I think they had the teachers, the administrators, our taxpayers, everybody involved with this decision. And I think they're going to lead us to where we need to be.
All right, do we have a motion to approve CSO as the architectural service firm for the 2021 building project?
I so move.
Ms. Overberg motions. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Basham seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. With that being said, CSO Architects, a part of their fee schedule did include the design work for the multi-purpose playing surface. So I would ask the board to basically delete, just simply not take action on number 2, because it's pointless, for lack of a better term. So with that being said, we will scratch number 2 under discussion action items, and I would ask you for adjournment.
Any board members have anything to say before we?
No, I'm really excited that we've gone with CSO. I think you will really appreciate working with them, and I'm terribly excited to see what they'll do for us. It's going to be good things.
I agree. I think we're, excuse me, allergies are draining. I think that we have a very good firm. I think now we can move into the CMC phase and choosing the CMC constructor that would work with us in building the facilities that we so desperately need. So with that, just once again, thanks to the girls basketball team for showing up tonight, and coaches, great season, and honored we could recognize you guys tonight. That being said, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Also move.
Mr. Basham makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Franklin seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?